Mr. Amodei.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Ranking Member, thank you. I've been watching the committee's work all day, and it's been a while since I've been in front of your august group, but my hat's off to you. There's some serious marathon runners in this. I'm a guy who usually doesn't try to show up at this point in time in the process and ask you to do something to change legislation. However, my hands were kind of tied until about 14 days ago. The Small Business Administration came out with a policy statement to frequently asked questions in terms of how we took care of or how they interpreted the bill that we all voted for back in December, which talked about shuttered arts operations and who they thought was available and eligible and who was not. And basically their interpretation said, unless you were kind of an indoor event with seating bolted to the floor and lights and stages and all those other sort of things, you couldn't apply for this help, which, by the way, I voted for that. I fully support the arts. Here's the problem. With this interpretation, we just take a quick look around. How about the folks that are sitting on this conference call right now? We look at events that, quite frankly, represent over 3 million jobs that are excluded from this program. Let me give you some of the names. The Westfield Air Show. Sound familiar, Mr. Chairman? How about that thing everybody in the nation's heard of, the Boston Marathon, the St. Patrick's Day Parade? Mr. Ranking Member, how about out there in rodeo country? You know, those are things which have a phenomenal economic impact throughout all of our districts and our states, and in fact, the nation. So when we talk about things, and I'm just talking about things that basically have over 100,000 people showing up, which makes it kind of hard, my colleagues, to put those indoors. How about the folks on here from Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania Farm Show sound like something that maybe needs some help? How about the Deutschtown Music Festival? How about Southern California when we look at what's been going on down there in terms of just arts-related things that have happened down there? The Winter Park Sidewalk Art Festival in Florida, ladies and gentlemen, $350,000. My point is this legislation is meant to basically ease economic impacts towards the pandemic. There is no better example of what's going on in terms of pandemic repercussions than special events. They've been canceled throughout the past year, and rightfully so. So if we're really interested in the arts, and we're really interested in special events and giving people a hand through these things, quite frankly, there's a whole bunch of those kind of folks in this country that need this support as well. But we're not trying to play favorites. If you look at Amendment 47, it basically uses the U.S. travel indicators for the NAICS codes. So in there, you're talking about lodging, NAICS code 7113, performing arts productions and festivals. So all I'm saying here, to boil it down, because I'm mindful of your time, is this. If it's really about the arts, then quite frankly, and you take a look at what the SBA said 2 weeks ago, can we help save arts festivals and special events? Significant number of jobs, phenomenal economic impact, and nobody's been more cooperative in the COVID stuff by canceling events entirely. I solicit your earnest support of this in terms of something that's worthy and squarely germane to this legislation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you very, very much.